Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to Season 4 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, we were starting off on Season 4, and we got a nice recap about what has been happening. We set up a bunch of things, got started, and we are going to be continuing in this episode to see what happens with our clan of cats that has been slowly dwindling, because we did also lose Peppa, one of our elders. So we are down to 11 cats and desperately hoping that Fronstar and Daisyquake are going to get a move on with their breeding. They haven't fallen in love yet, so I don't know if they're going to need a bit of a nudge from our mediator, who is currently grieving, so he's not exactly working, before they give us the litter we so desperately need. But okay, let's dive straight to the leader's den and roll the dice to see how Fronstar is going to handle the next gathering. Thankfully, we still have all allies, even though she offended Chirp Clan in the last episode. Okay, we got a 4 on the D10, so that's Whimsy Clan, and we got a 7 on the D8, which is a praise. Wonderful. So she's going to praise Whimsy Clan. Now let's skip a mood. We have some birth and death notices. Luminous Clan has no deputy. Fronstar admits to Whimsy Clan's leader at the gathering that they're exactly the sort of leader she hopes to be. Whimsy Clan relations have improved. Stone Speck wished to join the elders. The clan honors her and all the service Stone Speck has given them. Guys, that means that if anything happens to Fronstar, Stone Speck is no longer going to be in line for leader. She has in her lifetime been elevated to the rank of clan leader twice, and both times she has stepped down to let outsiders take the mantle in her place. And those decisions, while sometimes contested by the clan, have been for the betterment of the clan. So I think she has made those choices, keeping wisdom in mind. But this is it. This means that there's never going to be another occasion where Stone Speck ends up being leader. Oh, okay. That's big. That is big. Tempest has healed from the strain of delivering her litter. Nice. And okay, lightning struck in camp, killing Fronstar. The lead has 8 lives left. For a second, my heart just left my insides because I thought that Fronstar had died. I thought that Fronstar had expired all of her lives because she is a senior, and what can end up happening with your senior cats or leaders is that sometimes they just lose all their lives in one go. But okay, just one life. That was very scary, especially after Stone Speck has joined the elders. But nobody died. Nobody actually died. Good to know. But we didn't have any birth notices, which is what I wanted. Okay, let's see the cat list. So we have Magpahot and Sunchill, who are going to be down from grieving. And then we have one less cat going out to patrols because of the retirement. But we are going to have some promotions. So I'm going to have to do that in a little bit over here. Let's jump into the medicine cat den to see what's happening on this end. Cloudfoe was given time as treatment for grief-stricken. Magpahot was given time as treatment for grief-stricken. Sunchill was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. Tempest was given Ragwort as treatment for recovering from birth, and she did heal from the strain of her litter. Hal Falcon was given Ragwort as treatment for running nose. Lupineclaw gathered Dandelion, Daisy, Rosemary, and Catmint this moon. Okay. Now let's see what's happening, or has been happening, in relationships. When Stone Speck asked Fronstar for help, Fronstar ignored her. Stone Speck and Sunchill realized they were the only ones that saw a shooting star. Cloudfoe likes the way Stone Speck laughs. I actually love the idea that now that Stone Speck has retired, she and his sister Cloudfoe can spend more time together, especially because Cloudfoe recently lost her mate Peppa. I think this companionship is going to be really nice. Then Hal Falcon compliments Cloudfoe's name. Lupineclaw sees Fronstar be kind to one of Lupineclaw's friends. Lupineclaw is able to work together with Daisyquake. Magpahot didn't expect Cloudfoe to be so amicable today. Magpahot notices Tornfern doing something generous. Sunchill learns some pelt grooming techniques from Stone Speck and tells Stone Speck some of his own. Hal Falcon stands up for Sunchill during a patrol. Tempest knows that the advice Daisyquake gave her will be helpful. Tempest learns something new about a clanmate from Daisyquake. Daisyquake is surprised when Tornfern compliments him. Some brother-sister bonding going on here, which is nice. While on patrol, Daisy Quake secretly pulled back a branch and made it whop Hal Falcon in the face. Taunfen and Mousekit get their first duck together with some sap. The clan is very uncomfortable whenever Taunfen talks about Mousekit, probably after getting, their first duck with sap. Maybe Taunfen was very unhappy with the kit. Fronstar notices Taunfen doing something generous. Fronstar doesn't understand why Hal Falcon is being so rude. Sunchill won't tell Hal Falcon what he finds so funny, And Mousekit decides to be the bigger cat and plans to make amends with Daisy Quake. So that's all we have for events. And I didn't see the clan leader make too many connections. I wonder if it's because Fronstar is a nervous cat, so maybe she doesn't go out of her way to interact with the other cats nearly so much. She's just trying to put her head down and do what needs to be done as leader. But I feel like that's also going to make things difficult in terms of the other cats, willing to put their trust in her and be loyal to her, especially now that Stonespeck, whose vision they were relying on, and I think they were also relying on Stonespeck aiding Fronstar as the deputy, now that she's stepped down and she has no hand in politics, that might kind of be a bigger barrier between Fronstar and the clan-born cats. So we'll have to see how that goes. But let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay, let's resume with our cat list. First up, we have loyalties. Nothing has changed in regards to loyalties. The cats are still keeping their eye on Fronstar and waiting to see how she's going to do in the future. But we have had promotions. So now Lupineclaw is our daring deputy. Magpie Heart is our nervous medicine cat. And Sunchill has entered politics, or re-entered politics. I think he has served a few times before. He's re-entered politics as our childish mediator. But the medicine cat and mediator, obviously, are still grieving, so they're not going to be able to help out with much at all. Now, one thing I wanted to mention really quickly, because, we are waiting for kits. I want kits from Fronstar and Daisy Quake, is the age gap when I play with my cats. So, you'll notice that Fronstar, she's a senior, she's 159 moons, and Daisy Quake is an adult, he's 64 moons. Now, the way I play, I don't put a lot of emphasis on the age gap for my cats because I just treat them as genetics. So I have odd tendencies about the way I like to manage my clan, right? That gives me peace of mind. I know the age bothers some people, but it honestly doesn't bother me. When I bring outsiders into the clan, you'll notice that I tend to give preference to older cats because I'm scared of them dying and me missing out on their genes. Also, I like bringing in cats that don't have anyone else on their family tree. So if we have outsiders over here, but they have parents, siblings, kits in their family tree, I usually will not bring any of them in. I like bringing in cats that have no one else in their family tree because I don't like irrelevant cats being on my family tree. I like it to be just the newcomer and then my clan-born cats. So there's some really pretty cats here that I have actually overlooked when bringing in new cats to the clan because they came with a parent or they came with a sibling in the family tree and I just didn't want that extra connection. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I don't think I have, but I thought I should talk about it, because I haven't had any comments. Well, I haven't had too many comments on the age thing, but I did have one. So I thought, what, maybe people wonder about this and I should address it. But yes, I don't really focus too much on the age. I'm more about the genetics. I want those good genetics. But sometimes when we have certain story things happening, then I will point out a difference in age because that might influence the way certain cats feel about certain things and certain pairings. But okay, that drama aside, let's just go ahead and see what the cats are doing for the day because we don't have an operating mediator right now. But actually, we can check to see if Fronstar and Daisy Quake have made any sort of improvement in their relationship. So it seems as though they still haven't fallen in love with each other. And they are being a little bit, well, what can I say, nervous, right? And I don't think that either of them is taking a step in each other's direction at this point. They're kind of just waiting, biding their time. They are comfortable, but they're waiting and biding their time. Hopefully, when Sanchil gets out of this grief and is in a better mood, maybe his childishness is going to be able to encourage what Magpie Heart couldn't. But then again, I feel like Magpie Heart did make good progress when he was working, but ever since, Pepper died and they went into grieving, nothing's really been happening with Frontstar and Daisy Quake. And I feel like because of the type of cats they are, maybe they overthink things, and so they rely on the mediator to help them connect with one another. And when the mediator is not there, they probably assume the other cat is too busy, or doesn't really want to interact, and they just don't make a move on one another. Also, I'm noticing they both have green eyes, so I'm actually excited to have green-eyed kittens with them. That would be amazing. Okay, let's see what everyone's doing for the day. Frontstar was startled to find herself in Silverpelt for a moment. Did she just lose a life? Yes, honey, you did lose a life when you were struck by lightning. Now, yes, she's nervous, but she's also a very clever cat. So I think that we don't have to worry too much about the clan being in her hands. And maybe she'll be able to utilize the new deputy who is daring and a great kid-sitter in an excellent way for the clan. Now, Lupineclaw, I was thinking about this, but Lupineclaw has had actually a very rough life. She's had a very rough life. She was a very... I can't remember what her trait used to be beforehand, but it wasn't daring. She was a bit of... she was charismatic. She was charismatic. But Lupineclaw is the clan's one and only murderer, guys. That's right. When she was an apprentice, she murdered one of her aunts, who was a mentor, because she was jealous that one of her sisters was doing better than her. And that sister of hers was being trained by this aunt. And so she murdered the aunt. And then it came out moons later when she was an adult that, that had happened. But Lupineclaw, she had a bit of a psycho personality growing up or in the clan that we kind of kept an eye on after we found out about the murder. And then she met someone. And she had a very sweet love story, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, before the sweet love story, she got paired up with a cat who was a lot older, and she, not only that, but she was not impressed with him. So I think Melon was this clan, the first cat that she was paired up with, who the warmongering leader Godzilla Star chose for her. She did not like Melon. She was not impressed by him. Melon was a loving cat, but Lupineclaw just wasn't interested, right? And then she basically looked for an excuse. She was nice to Melon's face. Melon fell in love with her, and then she looked for an excuse to have him exiled from the clan, and she broke it off with him. She rejected him as a mate and then had him exiled. And then after that, she was paired up with another outsider, Canary Snap. And Canary Snap somehow, with time, managed to actually get Lupineclaw's affection. And Lupineclaw, I think, used to bully him and terrorize him just a little bit, but then when he used to react to that and get terrorized, then she would feel this need to protect him and become protective over him. And so they had this lovely love story, and then the two of them had a single kitten. They only had the one kitten, Firefreckle. And Firefreckle grew up basically being so much like her mother in her personality, and they were very close. They spent a lot of time together, and with time, Canary Snap passed on, and it was just mother and daughter for a while, and everything was almost perfect. And Lupineclaw, I think she trained her daughter, and she also told her daughter the secret about her killing her aunt. And then, unfortunately, Firefreckle ended up dying, and she froze to death while hunting in a storm. I think at that time we were going through a food shortage. Firefreckle was one of the cats sent out, and unfortunately she died in the storm. And Lupineclaw was just heartbroken. She was absolutely heartbroken, and that had this thing where it shifted her personality, and she went from being a charismatic cat to being a daring cat, to the point where she was like willing to throw her life into dangerous situations because she just did not care anymore. And the reason I think that big switch happened, not only because she lost her daughter, it's because Lupineclaw has always known that she is going to end up in the Dark Forest for killing her aunt. But because she had her daughter and found her mate very late in life, she never cared about any of that. But then when she had a mate, and then when she had a daughter, suddenly she had family she wanted to meet in StarClan. And when her daughter was an apprentice, she told Firefreckle that, you know, if this life is the only life for us, if we die, if either of us die, then we're never going to be able to see each other again. And so when Firefreckle passed on, it snapped something in Lupineclaw, and the realization that she was never going to see her family again just made her not care about anything. So she's been an interesting cat, but I hope under Fronstar's guidance, she's going to be able to be a better deputy, and she'll find some sense of purpose. Hopefully, you know, with that kid sitter ability that she has, or that trait she has, hopefully she's going to be able to think about the youngsters of the clan, the future of the clan, and kind of refocus her energies there. But I thought it was a fascinating thing about Lupineclaw, this cat who has no mate and no surviving children, but, you know, she's had a very curious story. Our one and only murderer we've ever had in Luminous Clan. And now she's like inching towards power. But she's had, I feel like, quite a bit of a character arc. So that's fun. But okay, Lupineclaw had a nightmare involving a two-leg trap. Magpie Heart is feeling worried with all the high tension lately. Sunchill tries to set a good example for younger cats. Daisyquake is hanging out with Sunchill, his cousin, in the Medicine Cat Den, also trying to set a good example for younger cats. Tornfern enjoys the warmth of New Leaf. Howl Falcon can't find Stone Speck anywhere. Tempest has recently given a wonderful speech to fellow clanmates, boosting morale, which is very nice of her. Stone Speck considers spending the whole day hunting on her own. Okay, maybe she wants to just go and do something without, like, you know, worrying about the other clan cats. I mean, she's an elder now. She's not required to hunt for the clan. She can kind of just hunt for enjoyment. So this is a nice change. And Stone Speck, who I feel like has been the complete opposite of her sister Cloudfur. Stone Speck has always been ambitious, politics-minded. Before she even got in, she was always working hard to get in. And once she was in, I feel like she worked really hard and served, you know, really well, served the clan very well. But her sister never really wanted any of that kind of life. She just wanted peace and, you know, solitude, solace. That's what she wanted, and enjoyment with her mate, really. So it's nice that Stone Speck is getting to catch up with her sister now, and she's getting to slow down a little bit, not having to worry about everyone else, and for once everyone can worry about her. Cloudfur finds another secret exit near the Elder's Den. Okay. So yeah, she's sneaky, but she's adventuring. I think she's getting inspired to do a bit, you know, extra than what she's been doing usually. Maybe get more involved with investigating the Elder's Den and more of the Crystal River, because now she has a sister that she can do that with. So, you know, it's interesting, it's fun. And Mousekit is asking Tempest an important question. Little Mousekit is 3 months old, and I swear, I don't know if you guys feel the same, he looks like a purple cat to me. This is the first purple cat we've ever had. He did not look this way when he was this attention-seeking little kitten who's interested in oddities. He looked like a gray newborn when he first arrived. But then as soon as he opened up his eyes and we got to see more of his coat, he looks purple to me. This little Mousekit looks purple. And I love that he's interested in oddities because he seems like an oddity to me. But okay, that's all we have for the cat list. So let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with patrols. Right, we are going to be resuming with our patrols. We don't have a medicine cat that's going to be going out, so we're only going to have a patrol of 5, and it's going to be a random patrol because we don't have to worry about food. We currently have 49.5 prey, and we need 23.5. So let us send out Hell Falcon, Tornfern, Daisyquake, Lupineclaw, and Fronstar. This is Lupineclaw's first, patrol as a deputy. So I'm excited, or I should say a deputy under Fronstar, because I'm pretty sure after Neostar died, Neostar was the cat who brought our clan peace and gave us 5 allies. After Neostar, who was Magpie Heart's mate and the mother of Halfalcon, after she died, then I think we had a few moons where Stonespeck was leader, so we had Stonestar, and then Lupineclaw was actually the deputy. But Lupineclaw, I feel like when she was deputy at that time, she seemed like a very, I did say she's daring, which she is, but it's almost as though she kept messing things up and couldn't get anything, anything under her. And I found that surprising because I remembered her as being a charismatic cat, and that's when I realized she had switched traits from being charismatic to being daring. And it was not too long after her daughter died. So yeah, Lupineclaw, she did serve as deputy very briefly, and then Fronstar was brought in, and then obviously Fronstar became leader, and Stonestar became the new deputy, Stonespeck. And Lupineclaw, she was demoted to Medicine Cat. Now, it has been, again, a couple more moons since that change, so I'm wondering how she's going to take to being deputy now under Fronstar, but she wasn't doing that well when Stonespeck was leader. So let's keep an eye on her. Let's see what she gets up to. So let's send these guys out on a patrol. There's a spring in their steps as the cats head out. Today looks like a good day for hunting. Proceed. The hunting is easy and the company is good. That spring is still just as present in their steps as the patrol heads back to camp, though perhaps the amount of prey they're all carrying makes it harder to see. A huge amount of prey is brought to camp. Excellent, so now we have 113.5. Okay, this is going to really help set us up for any growth that we have in the future, which is wonderful. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.